Spencer Turley made a custom track? What? Nah, bro. No way, dude. I apologize for that. I know it might seem like some April Fool's shit or something going on here, but it's not. I made a custom track. I apologize for basically not making one in a decade and a half. I know it's been forever. I just sort of burn myself out at times, and then it makes it really hard to want to come back, but I actually figured out a system to not burn myself out as much. I figured out how to spread it out a little bit more and not just try to make an entire track in one night like I was doing. It was very difficult on the mental side of it to do that, where I would just sit down for like 8 hours straight and make an entire track from start to finish. I mean, the positives to that is like, yeah, you do actually make a track pretty quickly, but the negatives is you never want to make another track. So I'm going to try to actually tone that down a little bit and just spread it out when I make a track, like work on it a little bit this day and then work on it a little bit that day, and then it'll make it to where I just want to keep making tracks like pretty much constantly. So yeah, man, this is Moonlight Night, and this is kind of like a Qatar Paula kind of vibe with your very fast sections, no natural elevation on this track, and that sort of gray dirt look to it. So I thought it was kind of something cool and different than I've ever done before here, and the jumps are somewhat on the big side. I don't think they're like to a unrealistic crazy level or anything like that. It's kind of got that big jump Paula kind of feel to it there. So I think this track right here is going to be really good for any of you guys trying to get ready for the 2018 Outdoor Nationals for MX Simulator, because it's going to get you used to going really, really fast, that true motocross speed. If you've been riding a lot on Supercross here recently, it'll get you back in that fast speed mode, and it's not like a super, super rough track, but there is a little bit of roughness, so it'll kind of get you back used to the roughness feeling and bouncing around and stuff like that without just totally beating you to death from coming from super smooth Supercross tracks. So, super smooth Supercross tracks. Good God, man. So, yeah, tons of different lines. I rode a little bit off of the track right there, but I'm just happy to make another track. I mean, to be completely honest, I wasn't too worried about how it really turned out or anything like that. I hope you guys can see somewhat of an improvement in quality and just like overall track equalization with lines and different options and stuff like that, because that's really what I was going for with this track. There's quite a few more split lane dual section type spots on this track. Very, very different than a lot of other tracks that I've made in this game. So yeah, I just kind of tried to throw in a couple different elements from certain tracks, certain types of real life tracks and stuff out there. And if you pay close attention to those little intricacies, you'll really see that this track has a lot of things that I've never put on a track, and some things I've never even seen on tracks in this game. So, yeah, there are certain sections you might kind of land off of a certain jump or hit a weird section and think, oh, dude, that's kind of weird built. That looks like a beginner built that or some shit. But I actually meant to make it that way, because if you don't know, like a Paula or some of those out in California style tracks where it's just like wide open, super long distances, you're going to have a little bit of weird, janky type like transitions and little roughness stuff, and how like a jump will land to the flat part of the dirt and stuff like that can be a little bit different than your normal stuff. So I was really trying to capture that a little bit more with this track. So by all means, you know, I understand if you don't like some of the sections, but some of them are just like I meant to do it that way, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Like I was really trying to make it a little bit janky in some areas to give you that kind of weird roughness feeling. So I actually went in here and just made a couple of random little off-track stuff here as well. Made a cool little freestyle dirt jump here. Pretty much perfect in scale, I would say. So you can do, you know, your whips and all your different freestyle stuff off of that and not have to go off those crazy little metal jumps in the game that just send you flying. So, yeah, man, got a little turn practice hole here in the ground. I was kind of going on it a little bit. It's kind of fun to see how fast you can actually get going around that. You can kind of test your stability and stuff on that as well, so it's pretty cool. But, I'm just happy to make a track, man. Just happy to get back into it. If you guys don't know, I know some of you more recent fans of my channel, if you haven't looked at all my custom tracks, I have a playlist for that on my front page. Every single one of them's on there. So, like, you can literally just go down through there and look at all 60-plus custom tracks I've made on MX Simulator pretty quickly. And I will have the track link to this track in the description below, so you guys can go download it. I love how a lot of people like to try to act like I do no good in the motocross community. You know, they all of a sudden like to act like that. I find that to be pretty hilarious, because if you actually know my channel and you know what I do, then you would realize it's not like that at all. I mean, I've made 60 plus custom tracks, maybe even a little bit, maybe like up to 70 by now. I don't even know. All I know is I've made a metric fuckload of custom tracks for MX Simulator, and they're all free. It's all for the community. I've just slaved away and built all these crazy unique designs of tracks and done all this stuff for the community, and just because I made a couple videos not necessarily agreeing with every single thing on the official Monster Energy Supercross game, everybody just thinks I'm like this motocross gaming hater and I just hate everything and I'm just a bad dude for the community. like all this shit, you know, it's hilarious. Oh, and not to mention about the 3,000 different guide videos I've made on these motocross games. Yeah, let's just forget all of that. Yeah, I'm just a bad dude. Yeah, for sure. But it's funny. You know, people like to give their little comments and shit, and they don't even have a clue. They don't even understand it. They don't even know. They wouldn't have the slightest idea on how long it actually takes to make one custom track. They wouldn't even get it. So, but yeah, man, I feel like, for me, the custom track thing, it'll always be my thing on YouTube. It'll always be what I started with. I will never stop making custom tracks on anything. That's like one of my most favorite things to do. I've definitely branched off in a bunch of other things out there. Let me actually show you guys this one thing in first person. I thought this was really cool right here. I was like, dude, let me just pull up a lot on the bike on this jump right here. And look at the moon up there. I thought that was so cool how I did that a couple times in first person. Like, you can really angle the bike on that jump where you're looking straight up at the moon shining down. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, really fun jump, finish line jump right here, where you can kind of do a turn up to the left side whip and then bring it back around and come back around. Fun, fast sections. This track has a little bit more of a deep sand style to it, so a lot more friction on this track. You're not going to be able to get quite as fast of a speed going on it, which I think is a good thing. This double right here is a little bit hard to hit if you're taking the inside line. You can do it on a 450, but I wanted to make it to where it evened out the middle and the outside ruts. So if you're on a slower bike, you're going to have to take like the middle or the outside rut, or if you don't get quite the drive, you're going to have to cut off the throttle and not try to go for that double right there. Multiple really cool, like super long 4-rut all the way around a sweeper corner. I don't know if I've ever seen a section quite like that on any track before, but yeah, just kind of random ideas that have come to my head here. Was really what I was trying to do on that. But what I was saying though is the fact that I was making a lot of track reviews. That's one big thing I'd been doing for a while there, and I'd been getting quite a few comments of people saying, can all you do is track reviews? Is that all you can make, man? Is that all your channel is? All you're doing is track reviews, dude. So I haven't made a track review for like an entire month, and my channel has been afloat well, dude. She's been floating good. I don't have to make any certain kind of video, and I prove that. Like, I don't. I can make anything, dude. I can be fucking around, you know, not even playing a video game and make it work. Like, I honestly believe I can do that. And so the people that are saying that, like, oh, I'm making too many of this video or that video, they're idiots. They have no idea what's going on. And that's just the way it is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy some of these different line options on this track. I was trying to kind of go back and forth between third person here, but some of the off track, the far off track, I was trying to kind of make it just all meld together and kind of give you that little bit of a desert dune off in the distance kind of feeling. And also trying to limit as many decals as I put on the tracks. I know that can cause quite a bit of lag if you're not careful with it. You can definitely get a super slow-mo filling on the track. But yeah, I just think it's a fun, different design of a track here, and got the tough blocks off the track. Got the nice little van here. What's up? Let's take the Spencer Turley mystery machine, dude. Let's go to another dimension, dog. Oh man, like I just love all the tracks I've made. I know that may seem like a cocky thing to say, or like I know it may seem like I'm trying to sound like, oh, I'm the best that's ever done anything, but it's not like that. It's just, I honestly feel like deep down in my heart of hearts that I've made some of the most unique custom tracks on any motocross video game out there, period. When you look back at like the catalog of all my custom tracks with the space track stuff and the dimension tracks and the future tracks and the tropical tracks and the list just goes on and on and on. Like, I may not necessarily have the most, best like on track as far as like in a realism sense, or like making the same style of track over and over and over, and so you're getting like a consistent feel on all my custom tracks. I make some pretty crazy stuff on track and off track, like both, dude. But I feel like me experimenting in the way that I did has come up with some of the most cool designs that have ever came out of any motocross game out there. I honestly feel that way. But anyways, this is it right here, dudes. Some of the little smaller details you might not be able to notice in a YouTube video, but like for instance, this corner right here, if you try to just like run up the inside, there actually is a little bit of roughness right there. So also, if you run up the inside and try to just like square up this outside berm right here and then hit this tabletop, it's going to be a lot harder to do that versus just swinging all the way around to the outside. But the outside's going to take you more time because obviously you're going to have to run over more track there. So I really did try to balance a lot of these sections. Some of these tabletops definitely have grooves like midways through the tabletop. So if you can't jump it all the way, you're still going to have a little bit of something to land on, not just like a super flat break your back on it kind of thing. So yeah, super fun section. I love how I did the roughness on this track. I feel like it was kind of a cool little different roughness design than I've ever done before. I managed to really capture where the roughness, like, it's not like you've just got braking bumps that feel like smaller whoops. Like, let me go over here to this first start straight section. It actually feels like there's roughness with different heights and different peakness to the braking bumps in different spots on the width of the track. Follow me here, okay? Like, there's actually like to the little bit to the left is going to be a little bit lower than a little bit to the right, and so you kind of get this like really realistic floating filling effect like you're on actual braking bumps. It's pretty cool how I put that together, but fun little tabletop here. I feel like all the jumps overall, you can come up short on just about anything and you're going to be okay, other than this double right here. And that was really just a balancing element I was trying to put together, because the jump that I had here before this one, it made it to where you could just take the inside every single time you came around this corner, and that was just about the most viable thing there was. So that's something you're always trying to figure out, is like right here in this corner on the inside, I've got a little bit of a braking bump right there where it's not so much on the outside, so it's going to be a little bit harder to slow down and actually get in this far inside rut right here. But what's cool about this section is if you get like in the inside rut or the second rut over, you start going really, really fast, and a lot of times you just find yourself naturally drifting to these outside ruts and this outside little rut roughness edge of the track right here. So it's kind of cool how you can go from each one of these 4 different ruts all the way through this corner right here, and you got kind of a split lane style section. You can either jump this triple all the way over, or just jump this over here and double. And then over here, nice little look at that moonlight up there. That was kind of the whole vibe I was going with here, is not putting any actual lights on the track, but the whole track was lit up, so it's like all coming from the moonlight. So I don't know, that was just a cool little idea I came up with there at the end. But if you sweep around the outside, you'll notice this first roller right here is actually raised up just a little bit, so if you hit that wide open, you can actually triple into this roller section and carry quite a bit of speed there. And yeah, a fun little section. Let me just kind of show you when you come around here. You got to be really careful right here, a little S corner where you got to angle the bike just far enough over to the right where you miss this tough block right here to the left, but then you miss these tough blocks right here to the right, and you stay on the track there. And cool how I put some of the tires on some inside sections, kind of gives it a little bit of a different feel than just tough blocks. So right here on this section, another little balance line section on both your inside ruts. You've got a bit of a wall jump here, but if you take the far outside rut, you completely miss that wall jump. So instead of like doubling into right there, you kind of jump over all this stuff, but I built it into a way to where you could still hit everything. Like this last double right here is pretty small, so you can still hit it without a ton of speed. Or if you do have a ton of speed, you can try to over jump it and carry more speed and land into the flat right here. And you can either hit this like wide open fifth gear and triple it, or you can hit just a double and kind of really slam on your brakes and scrub off this single right here and then swoop up to the inside of this flat corner. So a few different options there. And over here you can either like just square up the inside, or you can just rail all the way around this berm and try to hit this massive tabletop. I have another one of those little freestyle jumps, same exact jump over here, so you can kind of, like if you come off this jump, you can kind of come over here on off of the track, you can get your speed, do this freestyle jump, and then come all the way back around over here but by the stand section that I have, come through the fence right here, and then hit this other freestyle jump here, so you can kind of do those both in a row there. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the track. Hope you guys enjoy it. Just wanted to make something different, and I will be making another track very, very soon. I've got a really cool idea in my head right now that won't be that hard to make, but I think it'll be fairly unique. So it does have a little bit of water right here on the track. It's not actually any slicker than any other part of the track, just letting you guys know, like, it's not. I don't know. I like to do that on some tracks and not do it on other tracks. I think a water pond that little is not going to make that big of a difference if you make it slick anyways on a super friction track, sand track. So it's, I just thought, what's really the point? It's really just more of a visual thing on this track. Thought it was kind of cool to just have it in one little section like that, but yeah, man, either way, track link down below. Shout out to my sponsor, SquidSquadSTL.com. And I appreciate all the support on the custom tracks. It's been a crazy journey. It's what I started with on YouTube, and I'll never quit doing it. So be looking for some cool stuff, man. We're going to try to continue to be innovative with it and come up with new cool designs, and hopefully can come up with cool on-track designs as well when it all comes together, not just off-track themes and stuff, but also on-track stuff as well. And that's what I always try to do with my tracks. I just try to do something different, man. You got way too much of that kid cookie cutter. Oh my god, you got way too much of that cookie cutter stuff in these motocross games these days, and to me it's so cool to see something different, whether it be a theme, a biome, a section, a jump type, a whatever, a certain kind of rhythm, a certain kind of rut, a certain kind of jump. Doesn't even matter, you know. Like I just find it to be so cool to how many different variations and options you really do have with a full-blown editor like this in a game. So either way, man, thanks for watching all the videos. Later, dudes.